Right. That's the face I'm making, watching all the fantastic statesmanship going on as Colorado does its very best to dismantle the Second Amendment. And don't believe me. Do you want to see how seriously the anti-gun politicians are taking the destruction of the Constitution?
It is necessary for the implementation of this section. Let's see, that section goes 4, 3, 3. Let's see, go back to 1. Let's see, we need to get back to 1. So section 3, firearms training, safety, record. 2. Sure, I guess that goes all the way back to section 3. So section 3.
Yes, that is Colorado State Representative Amy Pascal dutifully doing her best to represent her district during Second Amendment debate and discussion surrounding this bill. Guys, we've got some big updates. I think it's going to get signed. We're going to be going through this. It's going to be important even if you do not live in Colorado because, as you no doubt have seen, what starts in New York will migrate to California, Hawaii, New Jersey, Illinois today. And tomorrow, next year, and the years beyond, we are going to be talking about Colorado, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, you name it, Michigan, all the purple states. And someday, if you're thinking, oh, I live in a deep red state, this doesn't matter. Guess what? Washington, D.C., that's right. So buckle up, get ready. We're going to be talking Colorado. Let's get into it. All right, so what's going on here? The original bill that I discussed in my previous video has been modified for basically political reasons. The governor does not want to pass a bill that he says is going to be banning current firearms. Okay. I mean, that's better than nothing, but we've got a lot of bad things to push through. In fact, so many, I'm breaking this into 2 different video topics. The one we're going to be talking about today is everything except the magazine ban. The next one, we're going to be getting into the magazine ban. So be sure to subscribe to make sure that you do not miss it because I'm going to be going through nationwide statistics on how many so-called high-capacity magazines are out there. What does this mean as far as the law goes, the future, all that kind of stuff. Lots of great stuff. A lot of statistics you've probably never heard of before, including how many high-capacity, large-capacity, i.e. normal-capacity magazines are out there. So what Colorado is doing is they're going to be conditioning your ability to practice your right, or as they would say, the privilege of the Second Amendment, no doubt, on a couple different things. If you want to be able to do something just nuts, like, purchase a firearm. Yeah, well, first you're going to have to go ahead and get a permit from your sheriff, go through a background check, get fingerprints. If they don't issue you the permit, hey, I don't know what to tell you. And of course, we all know the games that anti-gun states have played as far as delaying issuing concealed carry licenses and setting up those appointments. In some cases, right now, they're pushing it 18 months back. 18 months. So first, you've got to go ahead in Colorado. Hopefully, they don't deal with the 18-month shenanigan. Hopefully, none of this work goes through and gets passed. But first, you have to go ahead, get the permission slip from the sheriff's department. Then following that, you then have to complete some sort of class. You either have to complete a hunter education course certified by the Division of Parks and Wildlife, and within 5 years before making your purchase, you have to complete a basic firearms safety course. Or within 5 years before making the purchase, you have to complete an extended firearms safety course, presumably a longer one that probably will cost you more. Or you have to complete an extended firearms safety course more than 5 years before making the purchase and having completed a basic firearms course within 5 years of making the purchase. So this is going to be an ongoing requirement. This isn't going to be a do it once, done for life. This is going to be just a continuous revenue generation deal for whoever it is that's putting on these courses, classes. I'm sure the state's going to be getting their cut at a minimum here as well. If you don't want to play along, well, guess what? You can still possess the items, at least as of right now. The problem is if you want to sell them, you can't even give them to an heir. So death is not an escape. I'm sorry, it isn't. It's just like taxes now. Death is not an escape. You cannot just transfer this stuff to an heir, okay? It basically has to be going to an FFL or to someone out of state, all right? So this is going to be a hard cap on all sorts of different things if you do not play ball with taking their course. If you are selling firearms and you're not playing ball with taking their course, first violation is a Class 2 misdemeanor. Second or subsequent offense, class 6 felony. Class 6 felony, you know what that puts you in the same category as? Puts you in the same category as people who are committing assault on children, elderly people, and the disabled. That's how Colorado will be treating you. You're going to be looking at 12 to 18 months in prison, fines potentially well into the thousands of dollars. That is the state of Colorado right now. Now, as I've done many times before, I'm just going to pause here and imagine if you take the exact same logic that the anti-gunners are using and you start transferring this to other constitutional rights. Imagine if we said that you have to get a permission slip from the sheriff and you've got to take a class before you can vote. Imagine if we said you have to get a permission slip from the sheriff and take a class before you express political speech, before you go to church, mosque, or synagogue, before you don't go to church, mosque, or synagogue. Because keep in mind, an absence of an expression in favor of a particular choice of religion is in and of itself, perhaps, arguably, an expression of your particular choice for a religion. No choice is also a choice. Did you check with your sheriff? Did you get the permission slip to not go? How about if you don't want to have a soldier quartered in your home, right? Did you get your permission slip from the sheriff? Did you take your class first? You get the idea. This is absolutely ridiculous that we are conditioning constitutional rights on the basis of a multi-step process that, if we've seen this play out in other states the same way that it will turn out here, is going to be as torturous, laborious, expensive, and difficult to understand as absolutely possible. Not to mention, to be left open to as much officer and government discretion about who, at the end of the day, is going to be allowed to exercise their right. Registry. What good anti-gun bill does not include some sort of firearm registry? Well, the registry here isn't about a firearm per se. It's not talking about taking the serial numbers of particular firearms, at least not from what I saw so far, and then registering that to an individual name and all that kind of stuff. However, the bill does require that the government, here it's the Parks and Wildlife Division, develop and maintain a firearms training and safety course record system that includes the records of persons who hold a valid firearm course card and who has completed the hunter education course, basic firearm safety course, or the extended firearm safety course. That's code for, yes, hackers or whoever it is, if they decide to publish this in the future, can basically get a database of who owns guns wherever you are. We call that, in the criminal world, shopping. Because after all, if you want access to firearms, just go check out these people's cars, just go check out these people's homes at daytime, figure out when they go on a trip, you name it. That is increasingly easier and easier to do in our electronic digital age. But I'm telling you, as an ex-state prosecutor, if criminals know where firearms, drugs, or money is, we call that a shopping list. And that's what this is. Setting aside then, which we're not doing, but that is to set aside the massive constitutional concerns and the implications of this. Namely, first there's registration before there's confiscation. Now, the last thing that I'm going to touch on in this video, before I get to the absurdities in the magazine ban video, which you're not going to want to miss coming up, is they did a little sneaky thing here. So they modified a definition of something. So I'm going to read part of the statute. It says, as used in this section, the terms dangerous weapon means a firearm silencer, machine gun conversion device, short shotgun, or short rifle. Okay, they changed and removed machine gun conversion device to rapid fire device. They are conflating and confusing and moving the goalposts on, for instance, a Glock switch, and now turning it into a bump fire device. Okay, something that's perfectly legal to own at this point. Okay, I say at this point because, hey, hopefully we'll have a safe ATF, or a dormant ATF might be the better way of putting it. Hopefully it'll be much more than that. It'll be gone. But for right now, hopefully we're going to have a dormant ATF until at least 2028. They define a rapid fire device as one that means any device, part, kit, tool, accessory, or combination of parts that is the effect of increasing the rate of fire of a semi-automatic firearm above the standard rate of fire for the semi-automatic firearm that is not otherwise equipped with that device, part, or combination of parts. I mean, obviously it's pretty arguable. If you've seen some fantastic shooters, you can fire semi-automatic firearms pretty dang quick. So I think that that's at best a very nebulous term, even though I think we all kind of know what they're going after, or at least they're trying to leave the door open for criminal prosecutions. I do not look forward to being a firearm owner enthusiast or just someone who really is interested in liberty and unfortunately living in the once great state of Colorado. So where is it right now? It's going to the governor's desk. I anticipate it's going to be getting signed. If this gets signed before this video gets up, I'll post that down in the pinned comment down below. Be sure to check that out. Otherwise, be sure to share this around because, again, even if you don't live in Colorado, what happens in other states will eventually come to your state. And even if you're in a deep red, presumably more pro-gun state, it's going to get to your way through DC. So all of these battles matter. All these chickens will come home to roost someday. Rest assured. Our quote of the day comes from John Locke, who wrote, quote, "No man has any natural authority over his fellow men," end quote. Try telling that to a politician, right? I appreciate you sticking around. I will look forward to participating and viewing your comments down in the discussion comment field below. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this one, please feel free to check out some of our other great content, and we'll see you in the next one.